John, welcome to the podcast. Great to see you, man.
Thanks, you
We've
too.
been working together for a long time. For those of you who don't know, John was my mentor when I first started in real estate back when I was still in high school. So now we're here together filming a podcast while I'm back home for college break. So, John, for the people who don't know who you are, let's tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
All right, so John Ginty, co-owner and founder and CEO and whatever other title you want to give me at JCF Real Estate of Samson Properties, serving all of Northern Virginia. Whether it's a buyer, seller, renter, landlord, investor, you name it, we do it. If it's real estate, I've been in the business over 11 years, over $62 million in volume sold in my career, with the highlight being a multi-million-dollar vineyard, and in it because I'm very passionate about it. So real estate's my thing, formerly a teacher, but got burnt out and fell in love with real estate. So, used to be on a TV show, can't say the name, but we'll keep it at that. And just very passionate about what I do. So, and aside from that, it's my family. So it's work and family, we have 4 children. Had to think about that for a second.
For sure. Yeah.
But so that's it.
Cool. Well, so many people are looking to get their real estate license these days. They look at the commission, they look at the lifestyle that real estate agents have. What was your kind of shift to get into this career?
My shift was, I just was burnt out from teaching. And I won't go too much into that, but, I just got burnt out. I wasn't enjoying it anymore. And I, was thinking, what else could I do with the mentality of serving others and helping others in any way? And I explored options like being a police officer, 911 operator, EMT, and it was actually my father who actually did real estate way back in I think the 70s, and he said, why don't you give real estate a shot? All right, well, let me look into it, and I just online. This sounds kind of interesting, and I signed up for the licensing course and went, and I remember just the first class. It was just dry legal material, but I still loved it, and I thought it was such interesting information. I was like, this is pretty cool. Let's keep going, and I did, and I'm glad I did because I really fell in love with it, and I love helping people reach their real estate goals. That was my kind of
Yeah, awesome. Well, like I said, there's tons of new agents wanting to get into this business. So, let's look at it from 2 sides of the coin. Starting from the head side, what would you say the best kind of things are about this career as someone who's looking to enter into this career?
The best things about being a realtor? Well, for me personally, it's like I said, it's helping other people, right? Because when you have such a deep knowledge of real estate and the strategies for selling your home or strategies for finding and buying a home, or whether it could be renting or being a landlord, investing, when you as a realtor have such a deep knowledge and you can share that knowledge with a client and help them reach their goals, right? Even if it's as simple as just finding a home to rent, right? And in such a competitive market, that might be difficult, right? And we've had a lot of that over just the last couple of weeks. We've been working with many renters who were like singing our praises because they were trying to do it on their own because they didn't realize that, at least here, to have a realtor represent them as a renter is free. So once we tell them that, and they're like, well, then why wouldn't we take, expert help for free? And then at the end, they're like, wow, we're so glad we found you and that you helped us because we were pulling our hair out. Like, we've heard these phrases. We were pulling our hair out. We were so stressed. We couldn't sleep. We couldn't eat. And no exaggeration, people are really saying this to us because it's so competitive right now. And being able to take that stress off of people, and it's not the stress being taken from them, putting onto us because we know what we're doing, right? It's eliminating the stress altogether and helping them reach their goals.
Right. Well, you and I know there still is on our side, not the prospective client side, but there on you and my side, tons of stress with not only client relationships, agent relationships, legal issues, tons of stress. So it's not a carefree collect your check and move on with your day.
And I'm sure you've seen in your first couple of years, and you'll continue to see it as you go on and on and on, is the stress. You learn how to, one, manage it, but two, how to avoid it. And you know, sometimes it's unavoidable. And I think that goes with any career choice you make, whether you're a realtor, a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, whatever. There's going to be stress, right? In just your personal life, there's stress. It's just, how do you manage it, and how do you prevent it from happening? Right. So, you know, as the years go on, you learn more and more how to avoid those stressful situations for you and your client. So,
sure.
You know, my big thing is I don't want my clients to have the stress. If anyone's going to have it, it's going to be me. Right. Again, there's going to be unavoidable stress for the client. Right. But it's minimizing that as much as possible.
Right. So, you know, for someone who just got their real estate license, let's say their first week into being a licensed real estate agent, what are your first steps that you would take to start your career?
First thing is don't try to reinvent the wheel. Don't try to, don't come into it thinking, I got all these great ideas. I'm going to be this big time successful realtor doing it all on my own. No. Find a mentor, a coach, join a team. I wish I did that in the beginning.
Well, let me cut you off real quick. What is a team?
It's a team of realtors so you have your brokerage, your real estate firm, and then a team within that is you have a team leader who is really your mentor, your coach, your rainmaker, as people say, and they have a brand. They have normally they have an established, recognizable brand, and then agents join that team for many reasons. The leveraging the brand is the number one reason why you join a team, is leverage that brand. You come in as an individual agent and you don't have a brand. You're not recognized as a realtor. But if you can join a team like JCF Real Estate and say, hey, I'm so-and-so with JCF Real Estate, people may recognize that name, that brand, right? And this is what we have to offer. This is the experience. You can leverage that story, that experience from the team to help you win clients, right? You think about it. You have someone who's thinking about selling their home. They're talking to two realtors. One individual realtor is brand new and has no story to tell, no experience to talk about, right? No recognizable brand, versus another, same, still new into the business, but can say, I'm on this team that you may recognize. I'm on this team that has sold $100 million in sales in your neighborhood alone. I'm on this team that offers free staging and free professional photography. Who's going to win that?
Right. Well, most
the
people,
one on the team all the time.
Right. Most people, they don't want to join a team. They don't want to join a brokerage because of the commission splits. Being a new agent, they want to be 100%. They see that, real estate's a big money-making, career. So why give your money to a brokerage when you can just work solo and collect all of that?
Yeah. So let me ask you this, and this is what I tell people. What's 100% of zero? Zero.
Yeah.
Right? So if you have no split with anybody, and you're getting 100% of your commissions, but you do no business, you're taking zero home, right? Wouldn't you rather join a team that's going to help you get the business, even if it's 50%, for easy math, 50%, but because of joining that team, because of that story you can tell, that experience that you can leverage, that recognizable brand, let's say you get 10 deals at 50%, that's equivalent to 5 on your own. I would tell you a new agent on their own is not getting 5 in a year. That's just unheard of.
Right.
I shouldn't say unheard of. Yes, it happens, but it takes a lot to make that happen. Right. It takes a huge database to begin with. You're coming into it having a large, sphere of influence, as we call it, family, friends, social media presence, whatever it is, right? And a lot of hard work and time into the business. But again, if you as an individual can expect maybe 2-3 deals without being on a team, 2 or 3 deals 100%, okay? But if you join a team and you're getting 10 because you're leveraging that at 50%, that's equivalent to 5. You do
right.
more. right? And plus, you're getting more experience because you're doing more transactions.
For sure. You know, I know you've also explained this to me, but the difference of a new agent joining a large volume team, 40, 30 plus agents, versus a small team that's 2, 3, 4 agents. You know, being a smaller team, you can be more hands-on with one another. But if you're on a team 30, 40 agents, you're just a small fish in a large sea of other fish.
Correct. And large teams, they tend to, the quality is diluted as you go down the chain, right? So you have I should say not down the chain, but all throughout the team, the quality is diluted, right? So you have team leader or maybe a couple of team leaders at the top who founded this team that when they were in their prime, they were working hard and they were great at what they were doing, right? But then they got 3, 4, 5 people on that next level. I'm just thinking like a pyramid scheme, but it's not a scheme, right? It is a pyramid though. And then they have these, and then within each of those 5 next, managers, whatever you want to label them, they each have 3 agents, right? And then each of those has 1 or 2 to manage, right? So, but the quality gets very diluted, right? Whereas you have a small team that has 3, 4, 5 agents, you're all together all the time. You're collaborating, you're sharing ideas, you're sharing experiences, you're working together, and that quality doesn't get diluted. It strengthens that quality.
Right. Awesome. Good stuff. So, to kind of wrap things up, for an agent that's just getting into the business, what are your top 3 to 5 biggest newbie real estate agent mistakes that you could quickly correct?
So mistakes 1, don't follow the money, right? Don't focus on the commissions. Everybody loves to do that.
That's hard.
And that's a big reason why people get into the business, is because you think, oh, get rich fast. These paychecks are huge. Hey, I sold a $500,000 house and I got 3% commission, so I got $15,000 commission. Wow, $15,000 commission is fantastic, right? Of course it is, right? You got to put a lot of time and effort into it, and it's not about the dollars. It's not about the commissions. It's about the service. And when you create relationships and opportunities, as I always love to tell our team, it's about relationships and opportunities. When you create those, the paychecks will come, the commissions will come. It's relationships within its colleagues, its vendors, and its clients. Opportunities is not just opportunities for yourself as a realtor and, hey, I'm doing an open house and I met 10 people, that's 10 opportunities, but it's also then opportunities with your clients too, right? It's saying, okay, hey, you want to buy a house, I have 3 mortgage lenders I can introduce you to. Those are opportunities. You have 3 opportunities to find the right lender, right? Or here's 3 contractors for remodeling your kitchen before we sell. Those are opportunities, right? It's relationships and opportunities. Chasing the money, no. Focus on the service first. The paychecks will come later. They will come if you put the time and effort.
So building
into
relationships, giving service back, just from the get go. Okay.
Yep. Another common mistake is the whole my schedule is I'm a free person, I can do it. You got to cooperate with your clients, right? Thinking, I'll work here, I'll work there, I'll work this time, I'm going to take weekends off. No, always be there for your clients. And that's something that comes back as a reward. When you have an email come in at 10 o'clock at night and you reply to it, and you reply to it fast, right? There are definitely people who think that you got to have your personal life and time for family and all that. And I'm not talking like you're in the middle of dinner with your family and you get a call and you say, oh, sorry, family, you're not important. No, it depends on the situation and your family and what you establish with your family. But again, when you're able to reply to a client who's having a panic attack over their settlement the next day and it's 10 o'clock at night, and they call you and you're just sitting there watching TV, okay, pause your show and take the call. They're going to appreciate it greatly, and they're going to tell their friends and family about you. Sure. So another common mistake.
Well, a lot of agents, they look at the $1 Million Listing shows or Selling Sunset, all of those TV shows. Yes. And they think, boom, these ladies, these guys can sell real estate, $1 million condos in New York and multi-million-dollar estates in California. I can do the same thing. You know, and now like, oh, I'm gonna get my real estate license. You hear this all the time. You know, newbies are like, I just got my real estate license. I just got my real estate license. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, HGTV. I hope they're not watching, but everyone's got to remember that's entertainment.
Yeah, but you were going to be on HGTV.
Yes, I've been asked, and I was because I want to do real estate, not entertainment. Maybe later,
right?
You know, but for now, I love what I'm doing. So going on there for entertainment, and you know, they're remodeling this fancy kitchen for $5,000, and it's like that's just not realistic, right? Or these agents who are selling these, you know, they're established. They're, you know, they also now are getting a lot of business because of they're a star on HGTV. So now they're getting calls because I want to list my home with this celebrity,
right?
You know, but you know, there is no get rich and get famous fast in real estate, you know, unless you get lucky and get on HGTV.
Right.
But you got to, you know, take your time and do it right. And that whole part about HGTV and look at what they're doing and look at how easy they make it look and how glorious it is. That type of stuff takes some time, and it's not easy, you know. And I hear that all the time from either people who want to be realtors, who just became realtors, or just our clients. Wow, you're so lucky to be a realtor. I'm so lucky. Why don't you do it?
Right.
Like, come on, join me, join our team. You know, you think it's so easy. You got to put in a lot of time and effort and energy. There's stress, like we talked about, but you know, just. I don't know. It's the HGTV definitely has affected real estate.
Yeah.
And the image on that. But again, you just put the time and effort in, and you are in it to service people, to serve people, serve people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it'll all come back. It'll all come to you. You know, you do the right thing. So
for sure.
But yeah, getting rich fast and making your own schedule, and you know. Another thing that you got me thinking about when you were talking about is HGTV and this all glorious $1 million listings, and you know, a big mistake that realtors make is, hey, okay, I got this listing and I'm going to do 3 things. I'm going to put it in the MLS, I'm going to put a sign in the yard, and then I'm going to say a prayer and hope that it sells, right?
Yeah.
Because that's all I need to do, right? I just need to put a sign in the yard, put it in the MLS, and then just wait for the buyers to come. No, work. They're paying you a lot of money for a reason. Do your job, right? Sure. Can you get a buyer? Can you get 2 buyers, right? Sure. But your job is to get as many as possible. It's a numbers game. The more people that see the home online, more that walk in the door. The more that walk in the door, the more offers you get. The more offers you get, the more money and better terms you get for your seller. And then you're doing your job right?
For sure.
I'd rather have 20 contracts to sort through, and I that's another. I just keep going. These are layers. And I don't want to take too much time, but another layer of that is I've heard realtors, oh, we're cutting it off at 10 offers, the first 10 offers in. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to sort through 20 offers.
Well, what I've heard is, and I've never heard that, but I've heard our deadline is Wednesday, or our offers are first come, first serve. You know, but I've never heard 10 offers maximum is what we're looking at.
I've heard agents cut it off, and I don't want to be going through so many contracts. And why not? That is your job. Do your job. You're being paid tens of thousands of dollars to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Do it. And it's really not that difficult. You look at the contract, you make a spreadsheet, and go over that with your client, and risk assessment, and the first come first serve versus offer deadline. We're going to wait till Wednesday at noon to review all contracts. That whole offer deadline idea, I think, is awful.
Yeah.
Right, because you very well could get. Your deadline is Wednesday at noon, and you get an offer on Saturday. That could be your best offer, but what happens when that same buyer goes out on Sunday, finds a house they like a little bit better, and now they rescind their offer, and now you lost potentially your best offer. Right. You got to do a risk assessment as each one comes in.
For sure.
Right. It's an offer comes in, you review it. Hey, we could do better. We could do worse. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Right. And it's looking at every aspect of the contract. Another mistake that realtors make is chasing the money for their clients. Right. And oh, look at, we're going to pick the contract that has the highest sales price. No, it's not about the sales price, because at the end of the day, if that contract doesn't get to settlement, your seller's getting zero.
Right. I mean, I was in a situation. I had a listing in the city, in Miami, and in Brickell, and our asking price was $32.50. I'll make this quick, kind of cut and short on time, but we actually accepted an offer that was $150 less than our asking price. It was a rental, but it was the agent that I was within my brokerage, so I knew, this is going to be a great agent, smooth, seamless transaction, and the clients were very well known. Family was optometrists, people who work on your eyes.
Yeah.
Up in Boca Raton, so very, very well known. So it gave my client a peace of mind that he has a tenant in his property now. That's tenant or family is backed up by well-known family who has good income, but we'll take a hit on the asking price just because this person is such a qualified applicant. So, you're 100% right. Got to look at the offer holistically and not just on one value.
And I've done that many times with buyers, is win buyers deals when they weren't the highest offered price. I had a guy buy a townhouse a couple of years ago. He was one of 3 offers, and at the end of the day, the listing agent said, hey, just so you know, my client, my seller, chose your buyer even though he was offering $10,000 less than the other 2 offers. And it came down to, because they were more confident in me as the realtor, the lender that I had introduced the buyer to, personal letter that I had the buyer write to the owner, hit home with the seller, and then the other terms of the contract, right? It was me reaching out to the listing agent saying, what's important to your seller, right? And, you got to put the whole thing together.
For sure.
So, happens all the time.
Yeah, well, we got to wrap some things up. Got to get moving along.
Yep.
But I appreciate your time, John. It's truly
always.
a pleasure, of course, and we'll make sure to do it back again in a little bit.
All right.